Real quick, if y'all would be gracious enough to like and subscribe, it helps my channel a lot, so I'd appreciate it. Thank y'all. So if it isn't obvious already, we're finally getting another HxH Hunter game. And the reason I say finally is because we have not gotten another Hunter game in over 2 years, I think. And the last Hunter game we got was pretty much a scam. It was released for paid access and never ended up getting updated when it was promised updates and then died. But today we're going to be looking at a new Hunter game called Beyond Net, and it honestly looks like it has a lot of potential. So let's talk about what expectations you guys should realistically have going into this game and everything we know about it so far. So a few days ago we got the first showcase, which should be in the background right now, which is Godspeed. And the game does have other sneaks which we'll go over later, but this is the main sneak that actually showed us the combat and the gameplay overall. So what looked good in this showcase and what are some things I think can be worked on? So the first thing about this game, which I feel like is undeniable, is the visuals are good, the effects are good. Obviously this is just one showcase, but even the map and whatnot, it looks visually appealing, which from a performance standpoint is a really good sign, because good visuals equals good player count. I'm trying to tell y'all, we've seen it with Project Mugetsu, we saw it with Pixel Piece, and I think we'll continue to see it. Now you probably just noticed I said Project Mugetsu and Pixel Piece, and the problem with those games is all they have is visuals. So I hope this game is able to actually bring consistent good content, because that's something both those games lack completely, and it is a red flag when I see games with really good visuals now, which is crazy because I think I should just be praising them for having good visuals, but in the back of my mind I'm still a bit concerned just because it's basic pattern recognition. But just because those games weren't able to bring good content doesn't necessarily mean this game won't be able to. But what I am here to say is if you have to sacrifice some of the visuals to bring good and quality gameplay, it's worth it 10 out of 10 times. But next I want to talk about the cutscenes, which do look visually amazing. I'm not gonna hold you, they do look really good from a visual perspective, but I do think they are a little too spammable. I mean, obviously I could imagine it could be different. This is just a showcase and it's early, like this is very early in development, but I do think cutscenes should not be as frequent as it looks like they might be in this video, because cutscenes are something that's supposed to feel very cool when it happens, and if they're happening every 3 seconds, it's not gonna feel cool and it's just gonna buffer the actual gameplay experience. Obviously I'm not talking about the transformation cutscenes into Godspeed and whatnot. I'm more talking about the move cutscenes, because those are mid combat and those could have a lot of effect on the actual combat experience. The actual M1s and whatnot look good. They do feel a little slow for some reason to me, but they do look good, and I don't mind that they're slow. I think that's still cool, but I do think you need to look at the actual cooldowns and length of the cutscenes and make sure that we're not playing a movie, if that makes sense. But let's overall talk about the combat. The combat is a bit basic, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna overhype it, I'm not gonna glaze it. It is pretty basic, which might be bad for some players, but overall that is a consistent and stable choice. If you make it very complicated, that might appeal way more to some players, but it's not gonna appeal to everyone. So I do understand to go with a more basic type of combat system. And to be fair, I am judging off of literally one showcase, so it could be a lot different when you actually have multiple Hatsus and multiple abilities. This is just off of one singular showcase, so I'm not gonna hold it to that high of a standard, but overall it doesn't look anything crazy, but at the same time I don't think it's bad. It also might just be plain out unfinished because they did not block a single time, so either blocking's not in the game or they just chose not to show it specifically for some reason. I don't know why. Next we have something that can make or break this game literally, and it's the pay to win or spin system in this game in general, which at first sight seems kind of crazy. We don't know the odds or anything, but they got 4 different ones, 4 different spin systems, which is kind of pushing it, I'm not gonna lie. But it's not like this is unsavable or anything. They can make this work if they really want to keep all 4, and they just gotta make a free way to obtain at least some of these, mainly the affinity and ability, and that's because that's your entire gameplay experience. That's the power you're gonna use, and if you're stuck with one that you really don't like at all, why would you even play the game? But for race and lineage, I do understand you gotta get paid to an extent, so if you want to make this fully pay to win in codes maybe, I can understand it, because these probably don't affect your gameplay nearly as much as your entire ability. And I also believe the owner, Decay, by the way, shout out Decay, said that he wanted it to be spin system, so not everybody is running around with the best abilities like Godspeed, for example, which I understand completely. So I do think a good compromise would be just make it pretty easy to get free to play spins. Don't make it like impossible or extremely difficult difficult, make it somewhat obtainable so you could consistently spin, and if you grind you can get the ability you want. But next we got the game passes, which I have a very similar take on these. Either make them obtainable or maybe later add trading so they're still somewhat obtainable, but I think it is kind of bad to lock stuff behind game pass, especially if they're really OP, because it's gonna ruin the experience for people that are trying to play free to play. But next we got my boy Decay saying they were already working on update 1 content 5 months ago, and this is a really good sign because this most likely means they're not gonna release prematurely. They're actually trying to stockpile content before they release. The only thing to me is this does look like the Hunter exam place where Killua took that guy's heart, so I could be wrong, but if this is that place, I hope the Hunter exam does not have to come in update 1, because a Hunter game without hunters doesn't really make a lot of sense. The only way I could really see this working effectively is if the game released with a bunch of content before the actual Hunter exam, and then the update 1 was really fast. But next we got some map sneaks, which is Whale Island, which is where Gon spawns at, but I think they look really good, to be honest. It's probably my favorite part about the entire game. I actually really like the map. I don't know if I'm bugging, that's just me, but I really like the map. We don't know the total amount of islands there's gonna be on release, but there's at least 2. But obviously the second island is really small, so my guess is this island is just to get ability or something here, or a quest to do here or something. I'm not exactly sure. But next we got this Buddha model, which honestly looks really good. I'm not sure if this is gonna be a boss or ability as well. I hope it's an ability on release, because I'm gonna try to get it if it is. But not only that, I think a boss fight would be so lit with this thing. Imagine like 5 of y'all going at it. It's using like its 6 hands attacking you and all that. I think it's gonna be lit, I'm not gonna lie. But overall, this game could probably not listen to a word I said or do any of these things I said, and they would probably still do good, just because it's a Hunter game and there's no Hunter games right now on Roblox, and I believe they're the closest one to releasing out of all the Hunter games being made right now. I think this game has a lot of potential, and I really hope it does end up good. I think it would have to go incredibly wrong for it to actually not be successful, at least from a player count standard. So I'm rooting for you, my boy Decay, and I appreciate all of y'all for watching. If y'all like my videos, I'd appreciate if y'all like and subscribe. It helps my videos performance a lot, so I'd appreciate it. Thank y'all, love y'all double today. Later.